The topic for this video is National Policy for Children 2013. So let us have a look at a brief introduction about this policy. The National Policy for Children 2013 was approved on 18th April 2013 by the Union Cabinet for implementation of programs and schemes for children all over the country. The policy lays down the guiding principles that must be followed by national, state, and local governments in their actions and initiatives affecting children. So, first and foremost, you have to remember the date. That is 18th April 2013 is the date when it was approved by Union Cabinet. And this policy was framed for implementation of programs and policies for children all over the country. And this policy provides the guiding principles that must be followed by national, state, and local governments. And next, the policy reaffirms the government's commitment to the realization of the rights of all children in the country. Through this policy, the state is committed to take affirmative measures, legislative, policy, or otherwise, to promote and safeguard the right of all children to live and grow with equity, dignity, security, and freedom. To ensure that all children have equal opportunities and that no custom, tradition, cultural, or religious practice is allowed to violate or restrict or prevent children from enjoying their rights. So, these are very noble ideals. The policy reaffirms it again stresses that the government is committed to the realization of child rights, and through this policy, the state is committed to take measures, affirmative measures. It may be in the form of legislative measures or policy measures or some other measures, in order to safeguard the rights of children. What are these rights of the children? They have a right to live and grow with equity, dignity, security, and freedom, and also to ensure that all children have equal opportunities. And also, next, it says that none of the rights are violated. So, children's rights should not be violated in the name of custom or tradition or culture or some religious practice. So, this is a brief introduction to National Policy for Children 2013. Now, let us have a look at the features of National Policy for Children 2013. So, first feature is that the policy recognizes that a child is any person below the age of 18 years. Childhood is an integral part of life with a value of its own. Children are not a homogeneous group and their different needs need different responses, especially the multidimensional vulnerabilities experienced by children in different circumstances. A long term, sustainable, multisectoral, integrated, and inclusive approach is necessary for the overall and harmonious development and protection of children. So, first and foremost, it recognizes that any person below the age of 18 years is to be considered as a child, and that childhood is a very important part of life. Then it also says that children are not a homogeneous group. So, what is a homogeneous group? That is being very similar in nature. So, children comprise a heterogeneous group. That is, they are different. Every child is unique. Every child is different. So, it has different needs. It has different issues, different problems. So, it has to be understood by the people who are in the area of child care. So they need different responses and they have different vulnerabilities. So, and next, a long term sustainable multi-sectoral integrated and inclusive approach is necessary. So because children are not a homogeneous group, they are all children are not the same. So you need to have a long term and sustainable and multi-sectoral integrated inclusive approach, so that you have a proper protection of child rights. The second feature is that the policy reaffirms that every child is unique and a supremely important national asset. Secondly, special measures and affirmative action are required to diminish or eliminate conditions that cause discrimination. All children have the right to grow in a family environment, in an atmosphere of happiness, love, and understanding. Next, families are to be supported by a strong social safety net, in caring for and nurturing their children. So, second general principle is that the policy reaffirms that first and foremost, every child is unique and is also a very important national asset. And second, special measures are required and affirmative action is required to remove the conditions which cause discrimination among the children. So there should be no discrimination among the children. So if there are any such conditions which cause discrimination, they should be removed or diminished. And next, every child has a right to grow in a proper family environment, in an atmosphere which has happiness, love, and understanding. And the families are to be supported by a strong social safety net. So, in caring for and nurturing the children, so the families also should be supported. It should be given proper social security, social safety, social security, so that they are able to take proper care of their children. So, key guiding principles of the National Policy for Children 2013. So, first is that every child has universal, inalienable, and indivisible human rights. So, you cannot say that a small child doesn't have any human rights. So, even a small child has rights which are universal, inalienable, that is, which cannot be separated from the child, and indivisible, so which are indivisible. That is the first principle. The second is the rights of children are interrelated and interdependent, and each one of them is equally important and fundamental to the well-being and dignity of the child. So all the rights of the child are important and they are interdependent. You cannot provide one right and violate another human right of the child. So every all the rights of children are or all child rights are interrelated, they are interdependent, and all are equally important. Third, every child has a right to life, survival, development, education, protection, and participation. Right to life, survival, and development goes beyond the physical existence of the child and also encompasses the right to identity and nationality. So, when you say that a child has a right to life, survival, and development, it doesn't only mean that he has a right to physically exist or physically develop. It has a much deeper meaning and it encompasses his right to identity and nationality. So, mental, emotional, cognitive, social, and cultural development of the child is to be addressed in totality. So, you cannot concentrate only on the mental development or the emotional or cognitive and neglect the others. So, all these areas of development are to be addressed in totality. That all children have equal rights and no child shall be discriminated against on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, class, language, and disability, social, economic, or any other status. So, every child is equal and there should be no scope for discrimination on any grounds. The best interest of the child is a primary concern in all decisions and actions affecting the child, whether taken by legislative bodies, courts of law, administrative authorities, public, private, social, religious, or cultural institutions. So, the primary concern in all the decisions which affect the child should be in the best interest of the child. Family or family environment is most conducive for the all round development of children, and they are not to be separated from their parents except where such separation is necessary in their best interest. So, a maximum effort should be made to keep the child with the family, with his parents, because the family or the family environment is the best environment for the child for his overall development. So, every child has a right to a dignified life free from exploitation. Safety and security of all children is integral to their well being, and children are to be protected from all forms of harm, abuse, neglect, violence, maltreatment, and exploitation in all settings, including care institutions, schools, hospitals, creches, families, and communities. So, safety and security of children is an integral part of their well being, and children need to be protected from all kinds of abuse, neglect, harm, violence, etc. Children are capable of forming views and must be provided a conducive environment and the opportunity to express their views in any way they are able to communicate in matters affecting them. So, children should be treated as capable of forming views, and they should be provided a conducive environment and opportunities to express their views in any way they are able to communicate. Then, children's views are to be heard in all matters affecting them, in particular judicial and administrative proceedings and interactions, and their views given due consideration in accordance with their age, maturity, and evolving capacities. So, the views of children are to be respected, they are to be heard, and especially in case of judicial or administrative proceedings and interactions. So, now let us have a look at the operation and supervision of the policy. So, the Ministry of Women and Child Development is a nodal ministry for overseeing and coordinating the implementation of the policy and the review process for the policy. So, the nodal ministry is the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Then, secondly, a national coordination and action group for children under the minister in charge of the Ministry of Women and Child Development will monitor the progress with other concerned ministries as its members. Similar coordination and action groups will be established at the state and district level. The National Commission for Protection of Child Rights and state commissions for protection of child rights are to ascertain that the principles of the policy are valued in all sectors at all levels. There is a provision for comprehensive review of this policy every 5 years in consultation with all stakeholders, including children. So, it talks about National Commission for Protection of Child Rights and the state commissions for protection of child rights, which have been given the responsibility to make sure that the principles of policy are adhered to, valued at all levels. And also, there is a provision to review the policy every 5 years. National Commission for Protection of Child Rights and state commissions for protection of child rights will ensure that the principles of this policy are respected in all sectors at all levels in formulating laws, policies, and programs affecting children. This is a reference for this policy. You can go through this and also any other document to understand it in detail. Thank you.